Something very, very different. Duncan McPherson, welcome back to a very warm Melton Harness Racing Club.
Yeah, it's great to be in Melton. I've got the double socks on, so we're in business.
It is a bit chilly. Been some great racing tonight. Trotting races everywhere. Dichotomy got the chockies for Aldebaran Eagle, exclusive for New Zealand. You must use that word too, because it's the only place you can get him from now on. But she's doing a good job. She won two since you've been, or one while you're away, and another one since you came back. But you've been chalking up the winners well.
Yeah, and then Carter Helsher ran second in the foundation final up in New South Wales. So, yeah, look, from Aldebaran Eagle's perspective, he can't do any more than what he's doing. So, you know, with limited numbers, still chalking up the wins. So good on him, and good luck to everyone in New Zealand. You've got an opportunity to still get involved. I mean, Carter Helsher was a 2-year-old, so he's doing from 2-year-old. Dichotomy's a 5-year-old mare. So from 5 to 2, they're still performing on the track, and Carter Helsher's one of his, will be the last of the 2-year-olds this year are the last. So only 4 crops, and he's going from top to bottom in his breeding ranks. So good on him.
Progressive 3-year-old 2, Mystery Fred, goes round in the last. I'll be on my way home by then, but he goes round, was a good winner for Jodie. Kezzy's got back on. She jumped back on, which she hadn't got off last time, she said, and she really likes the horse. I spoke to her a couple of times. So it's a unique opportunity for the Kiwis, that's for sure. Yeah,
absolutely. So, yeah, between 2 and 5 and 3-year-olds and 4-year-olds, I mean, you can't do much more than what he's doing, and you know, his statistics are mind-blowing when you look at him, and I'm sure that we've got the new brochures getting done and the new stats getting done for the New Zealand stud book, the breeding guide over there with through New Zealand standardbred breeders, and then obviously we're doing the one here in Victoria. So we'll do it. We'll have an updated pedigree page and everything for Eagle over in the New Zealand catalogue, because that's where he's available, and then we'll worry about what we do over here with Sky Valley, who's keeps doing the job, and again tonight there was some good Sky Valley results here, and as a broodmare sire, he's doing the job as well.
Unfortunately, we take him for granted. We see him, he wins races, we take him for granted, and I'm bad at that. I mean, I'm here to promote your product, but we do. We just seem to take his winners for granted. He knocks them up all the time, doesn't he? Yeah,
well, I mean, all right, he's a very progressive 3-year-old, which is what they said in the pre-race, and I mean, he's 3 and he's racing at around with some of the best 3-year-olds here, and I mean, okay. Tornado Valley was years ago, but what he's done year after year, I think he's 9 or 10 times the Australasian, Colonial Stallion leading stallion, and he's still doing it up in Queensland. So, some of the mares up there of Golden Sunset just keeps on winning and puts her best time on the track. So, he just keeps doing it. So, he's available again, and I know we're all in trouble in the breeding industry to a certain extent. We know the herd numbers right around the world, having just come back from Europe, and I've been in Finland, and I was talking to them down in Denmark, and breeding numbers are down, and we're no different here in Australia. But for a bread and butter stallion who just keeps producing winners, and I think his earnings per starter are still in excess of 40,000. So, for a $2,000 service fee, and with an average of 40,000 per starter, it's just mind-blowing.
It is. We've got a couple, hopefully. We'll be back at the track soon and back winning, or one back winning and the other one starting to win.
Yeah.
You recently come back from the elite lot. You actually had an extended holiday while you were over there too, and with the cold weather, I think Greece might be a distant memory for you right now. The elite lot, year on year, looks like it's slowly getting down in numbers. This year it looked like it was good. Looked like the crowd looked like it was a bit of a resurgence. Would that be fair?
Yeah, the crowds vary. I mean, things change. I mean, what they've done up in Sweden is on track betting is no longer available. It's all
same as here.
Same as here. So they've taken away the TAB, they've taken away the tote, and so that obviously affects a lot of people's day out, if you like, rightly or wrongly. So it's not only in Victoria, we're just following what it seems to be happening all around the world. But having said that, I was in Finland. I spoke to people in the harness racing industry in Finland. I went down to Denmark and had an evening and a dinner with Nicole Marsing, who came out here and has driven Monty winners since I was up there. And she was a Monty rider down here, and caught up with Klaus Kosch and Torben Janssen, and a lot of people that have had an experience down here in Australia, and they still don't think that they're not the people up in Europe aren't watching our product down here. They're still watching our product with great interest. And Terry A. Melnas, who had Ridgehead Cahor, he had another winner during the week. So there's enough interest still in what we're doing, but we're no different to anywhere else. We've got to put on a product that's attractive to the general audience and the general participant, and make sure we look after our industry.
You've got to be aware too, like we say the crowd's a bit poor here tonight. Jim out the front there, he said he was at Flemington today. It's exactly the same there. Who would want to be out today? I think we got to a top of about 6 degrees, so we've got to be practical about what we ask for and things like that. Promote our big days, like the elite lops, and celebrate what we actually have. Celebrate the horses when they're winning on TV and the people that are out there putting the show on.
But having said that,
be aware of it.
Yeah, but I mean, if you come behind what you see out in front of the glass here, I mean, there's people in the bistro here. Yeah. It's full. There's people in the sports bar. It's full. So I mean, you know, there's still interest in the sport just because it's 5 degrees outside, and whether it's 5 degrees here or 5 degrees up in Sweden, there's not going to be people on the front fence. So let's just be realistic about it. And again, we've just got to go back. We've got to put on a product that's appealing, and we're no different to the rest of the world.
Be an entertainment industry, which
Correct.
is what we actually are.
Correct.
Yep.
So back to the elite lot, numbers were great. The interest was fantastic. I mean, I bought the race books, if you like, home. I've given them to Peter Svenozio. I bought some back for them, and they're interested in the pedigrees and the horses and how the product went. Numbers on the day were good. If I spoke to Anders Melmot, who facilitated, he's been the main track man in Solvalla for many years, who finished up this year. If I had a chat with Anders, and yeah, look, they were happy with the people that were there, and they rate the elite lot. It's more a global race now, so the flags are all flying from all the different countries, which, I mean, there's no flags flying here because it's not a breath of wind, but you know, that they see it, that they need a southern hemispherical horse to make it a truly global event. And provided we can keep producing horses of the calibre of the Locomotive and the others before him, and whether it's RC Phoenix or Kiyang Sahara or others, there are opportunities, and we've got to be cognisant that as an industry that we need to make sure that our best horses are given every opportunity, A, to be in front of the public, which means that they're in front of our public, but also the European public and the American public. But we've also got to make sure that we create the opportunity for our horses to get there. And that's, you know, Andrew Kelly does a great job at HRA to make sure that those doors are open. So, you know, from a global perspective, we're still very highly regarded, and, you know, credit to the team that went up there. The owners were up there with the Locomotive, and the team were up there, and they presented themselves extremely well. There's massive interest. Just believe the gloss hasn't washed off, but nor has the gloss washed off Karen Manning when she went up there with Night Pistol. So every Australian, and Chris Lang with Sundance Gift, and no, so that everyone that, and Maori Time obviously with Freddie Cruz and Brent Lilly. So, I mean, everyone that's been there has left their mark, and we definitely left a southern hemispherical mark in European racing again.
You mentioned there before about race books and trends and breeding. Is there anything that stands out? Anything people sort of maybe able to glean that you've looked at just when you're over there?
Oh, I think that we need to keep trying to make sure that our genetics are right up there, and you know, I mean, you know, Aldebaran Acrux, for example, is out of Chapter 7. She's the only Chapter 7 here in the Southern Hemisphere. She won the other week when I was away, and we're absolutely delighted. She'll head to the Inters up in Brisbane. But to understand, he is the leading sire in America, and we've got to make sure, as a breeding industry, that we have that genetic available to us in the Southern Hemisphere. And I mean, it's easier said than done. It's a big effort. And whether it's my effort or Pat's effort or other efforts that are around Australia, we've got to make sure that to keep our global edge and have that interest. And the people that own Chapter 7 are watching about what's going on with her down here, because you know, she's doing a job, and they are interested whether the genetic for them is in the Southern Hemisphere or in Europe. They watch where that genetic's going, and we're flying the flag down here, and it's great for us. And you know, she may not be the best that's going around, but she's definitely leaving an impression. And if we go and then ask for the opportunity to get some of that genetic down here from those studs in America, and we can be relevant and say, well, we've got this and we've got this and we've got that, well, then they'll frank our product down here. So we've just got to keep trying to turn over that product.
Is that how we get interest in our product downstairs, if you like, in a way almost?
Oh, yeah,
almost buy it, like by going and buying their semen or their mares.
Well, we have to. I mean, that's the only way we're going to keep doing it. I mean, we were globally irrelevant for so long, and we've come so far that we've just got to try and work out, and whether it's HRA that assist or whether it's the industry that assists, and I don't care if the industry buys the horse. Do you know what I mean? We've got to work out another way to get these genetics down here to make sure that we're front and square in front of the rest of the world.
Yep, it was very, very important. You went to the sales. Well, I don't know if you went to the sales. You did go to the sales.
I went to the sales.
Some great results. Dancing in the Dark, Ems, I think they sold up there as well, did they not?
No, he's been flown back home, and he arrived just after we left there. He was in transit.
So he had no progeny in that sale?
No progeny. No. So his frozen semen, they're serving mares with him.
For the first time.
He's been advertised. He was actually advertised in the race book at the Elite Lot. So we're very proud to have had him for 3 years down here, and the first ever Dancing in the Dark is going in the Aldebaran weanling sale over in New Zealand. So, and he's no longer here, and no longer. I mean, we've got some semen frozen. We want to see how he goes, but technically he's no longer available, and I've got to seek permission from the owners in Sweden to sell the rest of it if we ever get to that point. But the main thing is that we've done a job down here. We got good results at the yearling sales in Australia when we presented him in February, and they saw fit to request the horse to go back to, based on what the videos and all the work we did with him. We might have lost him in the short term, but then we'll worry about the long-term journey. But what it's done is it's opened a door, and we've proven that we can take a horse off the racetrack in America, produce it as a stallion down here in the Southern Hemisphere, get a reasonable amount of patronage, and then produce some progeny that they see fit to then take the horse back to the S. So we're not a dumping ground. We're actually producing horses here
and proving them.
And so I think it's a great boon for our industry here. And I've always been about paving the way, if you like. And I don't know that we've brought a stallion down from America that's finished his racing career and then had him reclaimed by his owners in Sweden before his horses have even raced here. So it's fantastic. And I caught up with all those guys in Sweden and went to Manhammer and had a dinner with them and with John Campbell, who's a very famous man from
my uncle.
Yep, another one of the Campbells. The Campbells are coming. So, but I mean, when you're mixing it with those sorts of people and they're cognizant of what Dancing in the Dark did, and they know Dancing in the Dark more than we do because they saw him race, and they're just absolutely delighted to have him back in Sweden with the opportunity to breed with him, given what they've seen down here.
I'll let you go. It's going to be... Well, it's not a long night. It's an early finish, which is actually good, but we can talk trotters for a long time. I'll go across the weanling sales next week. We'll come back. I might even meet you at the farm.
Sure.
Look at some of these weaners and that as they're coming through, because unfortunately, sales season and breeding season isn't that far away. It's actually going to be upon us very quickly, isn't it?
Well, it's the middle of June, shortest day of the year, winter solstice. So, we're on the up now. So we're heading for breeding season. And let's just hope that we can invigorate our breeders and our broodmare owners and everybody to at least hold our breeding numbers in the Southern Hemisphere, because the world's our oyster and we've proven it yet again. And I'm sure that, they want our horses, and we've just got to keep producing horses of a certain calibre. And, to see all the trot races here tonight and right around the country with, we've still got the 4-5-year-old foundation final up in New South Wales at Menangle to come. There's stocks
three
are plenty.
feature trots tonight. Aldebaran Park's had 2.
Aldebaran Park's had 2, and we've had 4 down here. It's fantastic. So, long live the trotter, and we're hot to trot at Aldebaran Park.
Mate, thank you. Really do appreciate it. And Shorty's over there. He wants to say, you just sit there and behave yourself.
No, he's behaving himself. He just wants to know if he's walking to the Inter-Dominion in Queensland, but we'll work that out as we go.
I was going to say good luck with the crew. Is that how we say it, a crew?
Aldebaran A crew. It's a crux down here, but... So her name is, and a crux is another star in the Tauran constellation, which is the brightest star in the Tauran constellation, the Star of Aldebaran. So we've got the star theme going again, and and I mean, fingers crossed that the long length. She's bred to be a miler, but let's just hope that the 3,000 metre final suits her, and she's pretty tough. So
she was tough last week, yeah.
Oh, not many sit in the breeze and go 58 and start pulling away at the finish. So, and she's no RC Phoenix. Let's just be honest. And Chris Svenozio, credit to him, he's got 2 wonderful horses to take to the Inter-Dominion, and he deserves, and Elizabeth McLean and the whole family, and Ashley Haynes, they deserve every success they can get, and we wish his barn the greatest of success at the Inter-Dominion, and to all the trotters that are going, let's just make sure that we put on a Southern Hemispherical spectacle for the rest of the world to watch.
I know the answer to this question, but I'm still going to ask it. Are you a dreamer? because you have all these stars. So just when you were starting to say that to me just there before, I'm picturing you, in your young days, laying on the bonnet of your car, just glancing up to the skies. Are you?
We used to lie in the middle of the road and look at the.
So you did.
So no, well, we'll see. There's lots of stories, but one of the things we used to do was just lie there and look at the stars. When there was no moon, and that was down down at Western Port Bay. So we did a lot of crazy things, and we knew that when there was no moon, we could go gar fishing with our lights and our motorbike batteries. So we'd look at the stars and work it out, and then go gar fishing and flounder fishing. So there are all these crazy things we did as kids. But that's where you dream, and if you dream and you dream big enough, you never know where your road's going to take you. So, but anyway, Queensland's our next road, and we'll cross that bridge when we get up there.
Dunk, thank you very much. Hot to Trot here at Aldebaran Park, which we're actually at Melton, but that's okay. We've got the red hats on. So
that's all right.
We're going okay. Thank you very much for a great chat.
No, absolute pleasure. No, well, we're hot to Trot at Aldebaran Park, and for all those Kiwis, let's go and support Aldebaran Eagle, because there's no reason for you not to. Exclusive there next year, and the Trotters are on the rise. So happy
Thanks,
days.
Mate.
Righto, all the best. See how we go.